Tell me if this is you. You set up Notion, you spent a whole Saturday on it. You made it beautiful. Then you opened it twice and never touched it again. Me too. More than once, actually. Hi, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Delana, your go-to tech and systems person for solopreneurs. And today I want to walk you through what actually matters in a Notion setup for a business versus what people usually end up wasting a whole weekend on. So grab your coffee or your water. I'm on water already today, if you can believe that. Look at this giant thing. It's crazy. Yeah. Well, grab your beverage of choice and let's get into it. I'm already on water today because I did 6.5 miles this morning for my half marathon training for October. And I had coffee when I got back, but we're already on water because it was an early morning and I'm tired. But I did pretty good on the run, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so first, let me just be honest with you. I have been in and out of Notion for years. I always heard about how great it was and I tried it and I liked it, but I couldn't get down the organization part. So I ended up with like a sidebar full of a million pages and I didn't know where any of them belonged or how any of them linked together, or it was just pages of random notes that never really got turned into anything. So I would abandon it, come back, try again, same thing would happen. So I'd abandon it again. But the reason I kept going in and out of it was never because Notion was bad. Like, it's actually a really great tool, but it's because I kept like bouncing between building something that I could never maintain because it was too much and just losing everything to a pile of digital pages in an app that I could never find what I needed. Now, before we go on, I want to set you up with a quick win. If you only do one thing after this video is over, I want you to build out a structure for your Notion dashboard, but I want you to leave it empty. Like, what? Why would I leave it empty? But I want you to leave it empty and fill in the details later because you can fill in the details as you're using it. So as you're creating content and you're like, I wish I had a place to put this, you go in there and you create your content HQ and you create a place to put the thing that you are working on that you need a place for. And now you know where it is and you've set it up in the moment so that it works with your workflow and you're not trying to put something together that would work on a perfect week, because let's be real, we rarely have perfect weeks, right? There might be that one week, the week you set up Notion, and that's a perfect week. And you're like, if this all goes according to plan, like everything will flow perfectly, just like this. And then next week, it immediately goes in the trash. Been there. So if you start out with the structure, fill it in as you are actually working a normal, not perfect week, then you'll be able to kind of build it around what you actually need, not what you think you need. Okay, so here is what actually matters when you start building your dashboard. Number one is that every single thing has a home. Your content lives in a space for content. Your client work lives in a space for client work. You even have the ability to share those spaces with your client. Money stuff lives in a money space. If you track that in there, workout stuff lives in a workout space. Like, you have spaces for everything. Everything is not just like living on one page. It also keeps things organized so you're not like searching for things like how I was before when I had 800 pages listed in my sidebar and I had no idea how to find anything. What I've done with mine that's made a really big difference this time around is I started by creating one page that is like a dashboard, and I kind of think of this as like the main folder for all of my stuff. Only 3 things actually live on that page, and that is 3 other pages that split my life up into 3 sections, and that is business stuff and then home-based stuff. So this is things like, I mean, I rent an apartment, so I don't have a lot of maintenance, but let's say auto maintenance, and let's say, Oakley's health stuff and like making sure she's up to date on stuff, and like, do I need to change the air filter, or like just whatever, just home based, like cleaning schedules and that kind of stuff lives in that home space. And then I have what I call growth. You could call it whatever you want to, personal development, whatever. This is where my vision board lives and my wish list of things I want to buy, or like my workout schedule lives there as well, because that is something that I'm doing to like be better, right? So all of that kind of stuff, like reading lists and movie lists and all of that kind of stuff goes there. Trip planning, all of that stuff kind of lives in the growth and personal development section. So those 3 pages are all that are linked directly off of my main dashboard page. And that kind of brings me to number 2, which is I think a part that people skip or maybe don't quite know how to envision, and that is that main dashboard. I have 3 pages that live off of it, but what I display on that page is only what matters to me that week. My business page has a giant to-do list that houses everything that I need to do. It actually, in an effort to keep things a little streamlined, it actually houses everything that I need to do, even if it's not business related. And that's just so I could have one master to-do list. And then I put filtered views where I need them to be. So on my business dashboard, there is like, it's on that page, I do show like, I think everything for the month or whatever, so that I can just kind of get a big picture view. But on my main dashboard, I will show only what's due that week, only what I need to work on like right now, basically. And I think that helps a lot with overwhelm. I think it's really easy to like start all these dashboards and start all these databases that like have to-do lists and things in there, and then you just kind of see everything coming at you at once. So it's really important to kind of try to like make the views only show you what you need so that it actually helps you and doesn't just overwhelm you with all of the things. So on my main dashboard, I've got what I need to work on in my business this week, what kit projects I have due this week and where I'm at with them. I have my cleaning list that pops up on there. What do I have to do today to clean to keep my apartment looking decent? Like whether Oakley needs medicine will pop up on there, or do I need to change the air filter, or just whatever. I have all of that stuff set up so that it will pop up on that page when I need to see it. And the third thing that matters is creating shortcuts that actually save you time. Now, some of these, I don't know if I just didn't know they existed before, or maybe they didn't exist before, I don't know. But I've created all these little buttons that save me so much time when I'm trying to like track things usually. Like one, I have a calculator that I created that helps me figure out how much projects from kit are going to pay out, which is super nice. I just put in the elements of the project and then it tells me how much I'm going to get paid for it, which I love. I've created one that helps me track hours for my client. Like I have one client that is hours based, and so whenever I log a couple hours a day for her or whatever, I will just key in for the date and the hours and it will just populate it. And then I have the database filtered so I can see how many hours I've worked that month, so that I don't, go over, or if I have some makeup hours from last month or something, I can keep track of that. But I also can look, at the whole year, where are we at, that kind of thing. And it's great because all I have to do is just key in that little number real quick. From a button. So like I don't have to, like, from wherever I am in my Notion, world, I just have to go to that button and it will automatically add the number to the right database for tracking and everything. I don't have to like hunt down that database. I know where it lives on my client's page and all of that. Like I know where it is, but I can just go to my main homepage for the business and just click add hours and type in the hours and go. And I don't have to like go find that sheet to type it in, which is great. Same thing for income. I also have an income button and I have a little tiny, like I made it just like a little square on the top corner of my main business dashboard page that just shows me the income that's come in that month. So whenever I get paid from kit, whenever I get paid from a client, whenever I have like a passive sale or whatever, I can just go in and add that in and it just gives me like a total. It's not for strict bookkeeping or anything like that. It's just so that I can see the number, because it's really easy for me to like kind of not keep a number in my head of like, how much money has come in. And then I feel like, oh, I haven't made any money this month, but like really I have, so I like seeing that there. And so I like to just have that just as a visual for me. And I like having that button that I can just add that income in real quick. All right. So those are the three things that your dashboard needs. A home for everything. So I would start with like one page that's like your main folder, and then like link everything else off of that so that everything has a home. Again, I use the 3 separate pages for that. The one for my business, one for my life, and one for like growth and aspiration. And everything files into those 3 things. And number 2 is a main dashboard that just pulls in what you need to see that week so that you're not getting overwhelmed with all kinds of everything or having trouble finding what you need to be looking at that day. And then number 3 is the shortcuts to track things or add things. I have a button for journal entries. I just click add a journal entry and it pops the page open and I fill out my journal and then click save and it's in there and it's done, and I don't have to hunt down the journal. I can just click the button and fill it out. Now I can always hunt down the journal, and find it and to go back and reread things or whatever, but to just quickly add something in there, like that's all I have to do and it's great. Now I just want to talk to you real quickly about some things that you can skip when you're building your dashboard. Because as great as Notion is, like especially if you're just getting started with it, I don't want you to get overwhelmed trying to put everything in there, because everything doesn't need to be in there, okay? One is like, and I started to try to do this, is I track my money and do my budgeting in an app. I used to use an app called YNAB. You need a budget and it's fantastic and I love it, but I switched recently to one called Zero Sum, basically the same app. Zero Sum was quite a bit cheaper, so I switched to them. I started to try to build something similar in Notion, and I think that I could have gotten there, but it was being real, it's not made for that, right? So I It was like, don't do that. Just use the app that's made for. So if you've got something like that that you're trying to track as money or anything else, and you already have something working for you to do that, then use that. Okay, don't try to recreate the wheel, reinvent the wheel inside of Notion just to have everything in one spot. Just put a link, just put a link to it. Like, okay, when I need to do my budget stuff, like here's where to go for that. And that'll save you so much headache. Don't worry about relations and roll-ups when you first start building out your dashboard. They're handy. I use them a little bit, but you really don't need them right out of the gates. They open up a lot of doors. They link, databases together really well and pull in information and stuff, and that sometimes that can be really great, but I don't they can also be kind of confusing to set up, and so don't even worry about them unless you know you need it for something, because I don't want them to stress you out before you actually need it. And please don't worry about making your Notion dashboard look super pretty. I am all for aesthetic. I have made mine very purple. I started with a template that I found in the Notion store. Okay, and then all I did basically was swap out the pictures that were already in there for purple ones because it had like a beige brown aesthetic to it, which is not my jam at all. So I switched all of that out for purple. But if I had started building that from scratch, I wouldn't have worried about doing all of that, because you needed to function for you more than you needed to be super pretty. So just, I'm not saying never go back and add fun icons and colors and pictures and things to liven it up, because I love it like that. But don't spend hours doing that before it actually works for you. Like, get the bones of it set up first. Make sure it's working for you and helping you actually be more productive and keep track of everything that you need to keep track of, and then go back and make it pretty, because it is fun to have a really nice, pretty dashboard. And skip trying to make it finished, because it's never going to be finished. Okay, it's never going to be finished, because you're always going to have you're going to have your content HQ, and it's going to be working for you, and you're going to have the dashboard with all of your content in it and your brand guides, and everything's going to be in there. And then one day you're going to be like, oh, I should start doing voice notes for voice notes for my content, because I can get the thoughts out of my head and they can go into Notion, and then I'll have everything in one spot when I sit down to write. And that'll be like the next thing that you want to add. And so then it'll be like, okay, now I need to add this page to keep track of all that content. Anyways, what I'm saying is, it's never going to be done, because you're always going to think, oh, how can I do this differently? How can I make this better? And you're going to be moving things around and tweaking it as you go. So stop trying to be finished with it, because you're just not, it's not going to be there. I keep tweaking mine all the time, and it's not finished. Like I will work on it, and I will take care of a week's worth of content or something, and then I'll be like, how can I make that faster or better or whatever, and I'll change something about it. Like, it's just, and it's always just going to get better. So the one thing I want you to take away from this video is to build the structure first, leave it empty, and fill it in as you're going through your normal work week. What could I put in here? What would make this easier to find, or whatever? And then make a spot for it in your Notion and build it out from there. Make it work for you. Nothing wrong with starting with a template, but you should make it work for you. Speaking of templates, I've been working on mine for a little while now. So if you are looking for like that starting place, instead of feeling overwhelmed with a completely blank page, because I totally understand that too, I am dropping the bones of my whole Notion dashboard into my shop later this week. It's totally done for you, Notion business dashboard, ready for you to start putting your content in and also destroying it and making it work for you. But it is set up to give you a really good starting point. So keep an eye out for that. I'll have it in the shop, and I'll have a comment below. If you want to kind of test it out, you can grab a free version of the content portion of my dashboard inside of the Tiny Toolkit library. That is totally free, and the link for that will be in the description. All right, that is it for today. If you have any questions about setting up Notion for your business, drop them in the comments, and I'd be happy to try to help you and walk through that with you. And if you want kind of the next piece of this, check out this video, this one, where I walk you through how to set up the content portion of your dashboard. So you can build it from scratch, or you can grab the free copy of it and add it straight to your dashboard from Tiny Toolkit. All right, I will see you next time. Bye.